Hey everyone, welcome back to Skate 3. I'm Incetic. With me on this set is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
And we have a very special guest. We have andyTHPS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, this is not a soundboard. Welcome, Andy. Oh man. And
Thanks.
I know
Thanks
it's
for
funny.
having me.
It's on a skate series, but Tony 20 was a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with this one. Is Tony Hawk in this game?
I don't think so.
Can you confirm, please?
You know, that would have been the ultimate, like, shocking twist at the very end. Like, you get to the final, like, mega ramp vert competition, and I don't know, Danny Way standing at the top there, and he's like, hey, I've got someone I'd like you to meet. Camera turns, Tony Hawk.
That would have been incredible.
And then, you know, he just, like, rolls in and a hawk just flies in, lands on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's, like, all, wind in his hair.
And they only got one line from Tony, and he just goes, hey, kid. And then, like, that's... Everything else is just, like, text on screen. You don't hear him speak ever. Right?
It's like a crummy, like, King Kong movie, like, overdub, like...
Yeah.
And he just says, sticker slapped manual wall plant, and that's it.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
American Wasteland, dude. Okay, so yeah, we're playing Skate 3, and in this video we're going to go to the Industrial District. But first I have to do a few photos to open up the rest of it. But I mean, we've obviously got a mound of, you know, crazy cool things we could talk about and ask about. Because I mean, if you know Tony Hawk, you know Andy. Or at least you know some of the things.
There might be some people who don't know. You should probably... like, Andy, you worked for Vicarious Visions. Did you work on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2? The remakes?
Yeah, I did. So I was a senior designer at VV, for that project.
Yeah. And, so...
And that was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I loved the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because when people say that, I should say thank you, but also as like a collaborative effort of like 200 plus people.
Sure, yeah,
you know,
right.
I can't take credit for all the work, but you know, thanks.
Right.
I thought it was good too. I was really happy with how it came out. You know, there's some things I wish, you know, that made it in regarding like fixes and features and stuff, but like, you know, I thought it was great too.
Like, what would be... can you talk about that stuff, or... I mean, I'm curious.
Yeah, it's just small little things, like, mechanic-wise, like, rolling into a vert from flat. Like, if you jump from a flat on top of a quarter pipe into a quarter pipe, it, like, doesn't quite line up your trajectory correctly, so... And so, on top of that, like, acid dropping from that angle is also a little bit finicky, but, like, all things considered, these are things that only, like... 0.00001% of the people are going to even recognize.
Right, yeah.
So, like, and just, like, small little bits throughout the levels and, you know, maybe some, whatever, patching things to prevent robot lines and stuff. But then again, you know, robot lines are kind of part of the culture and community and stuff, too. So they're kind of well established. But, you know, stuff like that, yeah.
But again, over on your Twitch, where you do these like 500 million point combos, like, yeah, you see some of that. I mean,
you got your start there, right? Like in speedrunning and big point. You know, I don't like. Right, like that's kind of where you started there, and then you became a tester, and then you moved into actually development.
Yeah, exactly. You know. It's like, it's kind of hard to explain, but in a nutshell, there just wasn't much of like a online gaming community, right? So Tony Hawk 3 on PS2 was the first online PS2 game. And so when I got on, it was just like nobody except for me and some of the Neversoft guys and some guys from the Delphi THPS message boards. And so we would kind of like, message each other on like on the forums, be like, yo, we're going to play tonight. And, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask about like at the very start if it was like the PC version or the PS2 version, because I know the PS2 had some accessory where you could connect Ethernet to it and kind of play online and such. I never got into that. Most
people didn't.
Online was Xbox Live, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I had to buy a Linksys Ethernet USB adapter, and I still have it. And
really?
Think 3 months later, that Christmas, Sony released their official PS2 network adapter, and that's when people like started showing up. We call them the Christmas noobs. Like the lobbies were just totally populated, and it was just like you can go in any lobby and just decimate whoever, and they're just, you know.
Sure, you've got tons of experience on them. Honestly, it's amazing how you were in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, so I just kept in contact with the devs, and we were just, you know, shoot the breeze. It was never like, I'm going to work for Neversoft. You're just like, we were just friendly, and yeah, I was just totally right place, right time, you know.
Dude, Reddit wasn't kidding. Like, he hooked us up right. We got everything we needed here.
So yeah, there's multiple custom skate parks, you know, or skate zones. So you had that first indoor center at the start of the game. You get a ways through, and here in the industrial district, you have like a dingier, but more vertical one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. You get several custom areas.
They've already taught you how to like move pieces around, and, like all that jive, right? Like at the beginning of the game, I think that they teach you that, right?
Yeah. It's so good that there's the controls on screen.
Real quick, to go back to THPS 1 and 2 remake, the custom level editor was insane.
Holy shit, yeah.
I saw those various clips of like people riding roller coasters of rails and doing crazy things that it was so far above and beyond. But alright, to go back to the story, so from someone like what I know, then like Tony Hawk 3, and so you were just dominating online so hard that Neversoft was like, we gotta reach out to this guy. And
it sounds like he was already in contact.
Yeah, like, I didn't know that. Like, the developers were playing on the PS2 online service.
Yeah.
Such.
Yeah, so like when the game came out, Neversoft, at least the people who worked there kind of had this habit of like playing the game when it came out for like a week or two after it came out.
Sure.
And like, because they were experienced and so they could dominate everybody because no one else knew the levels or the tricks.
Sure.
But then just in time for like, the customer base to get good, they would just be like, okay, we're good, we're out, and they would just never really play.
Move on to other things.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's like I was never really a scorer. I was more like, I was kind of against it. I was more for trying to do anything else in the game, like to try and just like introduce variety. There's no manual lines, style lines, and all this other stuff, and I was just more advocating for that sort of gameplay, and it just sort of caught fire at some point, and more people took a liking to those videos as opposed to scoring videos, right?
Time to test your
yeah, I guess that's true.
See what I mean,
and to each their own, right? There's still like communities and little cultures of people who just want to get big numbers, and then there's the other group of people who just want to make cool videos and make cool lines and just hang out and try some doubles and do some gaps together and just like chill, like skate culture, just like hang with skateboards,
Yeah.
Because I think like one of the more kind of outstanding isn't really the right word, but incredible things is that then when, Los Angeles, a level in Tony Hawk 3, and then when they brought it back in classic mode, Tony Hawk Underground 2, there was an andyTHPS ledge Easter egg.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess, kind of how did that come about? Like, were you back in Tony Hawk 3, like, hey guys, watch this, and that would be one of the things you do?
I vividly remember, like, playing online the first week, and we were just kind of, messing around, like, flat landing and watching each other and just, like, horsing around, and we were in LA by the stair set, and I just started to try to manual down the ledge, and I did it like second try. And like the Neversoft guys were in the server. It was like 4 people per server, and it was just like 3 dudes I didn't even know, but they had NS in their name. So, and they were trying to do it for like the next hour, and they never got it. And so I think that's kind of what put that's the I got my mark in there. Like
that's
in the
amazing.
Brain.
That's so cool.
Wild.
That is such a better story than I was expecting.
Yeah. And like years later, I was like, at the office, hanging out, working on levels, and writing up bugs. I was a tester at the time, and just like a good buddy who was working there at the time was doing the LA remake, and LA was my favorite level of all time, and he did the airport remake too, and so I would constantly pressure him to fix this, fix that, make this better, because we're gonna get the most mileage out of these levels by far. And so we did the things like the pillar wall ride, where you can wall ride the pillar, and like it'll count, and you go through the production, or you go through the liquor store door, and it's called the production drop, and you can do that. All in that same night, we did those things, and then we had talked about making the ledge a gap, but we didn't want to force people to have to do that to 100% the game. So we didn't make it a blue text transfer. We made it just like a, the yeah woohoo sound effect thing, and the text on screen, and
that's amazing.
People found it,
I got it on video in Thug 2, but I needed focus mode and like one of the flatland manual things that slowed you way down. You know,
How did you find out about it? Did someone tell you, or would you just like, I don't know, like see a Tony Hawk 3 video?
Yeah, probably one of those videos of 50 things you don't know about the, Tony Hawk franchise.
Probably an odd header video or something.
Yeah,
That's funny. I
Shout
saw
out
that video
to him.
too.
Now that we got Andy, let me get all the other.
Shit, if we could get odd header, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'd love to have a chat with him. He went deep into some of those videos, and I have some corrections for him too. And I can't remember.
He would love to talk to you about it, I'm sure.
Maybe, but like
Bob, get your thumbnail making skills up like a angry face with anti-fires back.
Yeah, if I could get like a really mad photo of you, like maybe pointing at the screen or pointing at the camera, that'd be great. I'll make some clickbait nonsense.
Yeah, to be fair, I can't even remember what it was, or maybe, I feel like it was a couple things I can't even remember, but for the most part, he really crushed it. Like, I think there was even a few things that I didn't know.
I'm so surprised by his videos that, like, he puts out so many videos, and every single time he doesn't recycle content.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell does he do that? He's just got so many... I don't know, it's just every video I'm like, oh, that is true, that's interesting.
He's like actually creating content and not recycling.
So,
like, yeah.
Top 10 lists or whatever.
So real quick for the video, because
we should talk about skate.
So at the end of the previous video, I showed off one of the big glitches, like the launch glitch, by using a ramp or so. Well, you can also do that off a beach ball, of all props, and you can get a bunch of speed if you speed glitch off a beach ball, which I just showed.
Yeah.
Okay, so for someone who kind of like second hand or fourth hand kind of knows the story, so you were doing really well online on like Tony Hawk 3 and 4, and Neversoft flies you out to play Thug early, Tony Hawk Underground early. So
I feel like we're recounting legends of you back to you to get the real story.
Right.
Yeah, it was wild. Because I had talked to them on and off, and they were like, they'd thrown the idea out there, and I was like, well, yeah, of course I'll go. I'm just like in high school, so I gotta like wait till summer and whatever. And and so I was like, yeah, whatever. This is, that's not gonna happen, but it'd be cool. And then I remember one time, it was actually on my birthday. I like took a nap. I never nap. And I woke up and there was a contract waiting in my inbox.
Good God, that must feel like literally a dream. Like you took a nap on a day you never take naps, and then you quote-unquote wake up and there's a contract.
Yeah, I think I was like turning 17 at the time. I can't remember, but it was way back then. And I was like, I was like, they pay me hourly. I went out there for a summer. They planned to keep me there for a couple weeks, and then they extended it to a month, and they accepted it to 2 months, and then to 3 months until till the very end. I had to go back to school. Like, I went back like 2 days early so I could go back. I basically just spent my summer working at Neversoft, and it was.
This sounds like a fan fiction. Like
a
Tony Hawk.
You might be the only person who's not an anime character to wake up on your birthday to something like just
contract to go work. Like, that's so fucking cool. And like the other thing I was thinking was like, you're basically the dream trajectory of the ideas guy, right? Like, oh, I know a game developer. I want to be the ideas guy. I don't need any skills. I just tell you cool things that you should put into your game, and then you actually did it.
Yeah, no, I don't know how I did it, but I did. And they were also saying like, well, you could just like take a full-time job. You can go to the high school across the street and finish up high school there.
Oh man.
And I was like,
that must have been tempting.
It was, but I was like, I kind of want to finish high school with like everyone I know. And,
like you had friends, you have a whole social system,
Yeah, so
you can't just drop all that.
Yeah, it was tough, but I ended up doing that move. And but I think they like the ideas thing. Like everyone's got ideas, right? So it's just like, especially everyone at the company already has ideas and how things should be. I think what they took a liking to is that, one, I think I was like easy to work with and like a good dude. Like I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like if you meet people online and they're all trolls and like cussing and whatever, it's like it's really easy to get turned off. But when I was there, I was breaking the game. I was like, they introduced walk mode, and it was like so broken, and so I was just like, it was kind of my end. I was just like exploiting it like crazy, and they had all these other little features,
but like in a fun,
stuff.
Constructive way, like not in a like your game is such shit. Look at this, it's like.
Well, I would just like write up exploit after exploit. I was like, well, you could just combo forever if you did this. It's like,
that's like I was gonna ask,
intel.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, how far in through, the development cycle did you get to see?
So I had seen the E3 trailer, which was in May. And so that basically means they were in beta by June, which is when I went. And so it was pretty far along. Basically, they're only fixing like critical, urgent, immediate bugs. Like anything that's like low priority is pretty much kicked, unless it's just like super trivial, like really easy to fix and won't break anything else. But well, what's happening here? Sorry, should I not be talking? Is there dialogue?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So it was pretty far along. Everything was arted. All the missions were in. All the levels were pretty much done. Everyone's like tying up loose ends and making sure the game doesn't crash and that sort of thing. Ooh. So, yeah.
That is ghastly.
So,
well, I would love to.
More pressure on me.
Actually, I was gonna say I would love to talk more about Tony Hawk, and we could maybe do that next video. But I think we should talk about Skate because you have played this game.
Yeah, I remember some of these missions. Yeah, I played it on stream in one sitting. I think it was like 8 or 9 hours. And,
wow. So just like a long play through the whole thing?
Yeah, Skate 3. It was. I don't think I 100%ed it entirely, but I remember doing all the things and thinking like, oh, I guess there's nothing else to do. I guess that's the end of the stream. Like, but it was really fun. I really love this game. I really appreciate all the Skate series games. Really. Yeah,
that's interesting because the Skate game. Okay, so you don't know me really at all. I'm not good at any of these extreme sports games, and I've never played the Skate games beyond like a little bit of the tutorial of the first one. But like, I'm here for color commentary. And what I was gonna say was the feel of holding the controller in your hand and trying to play Skate is so completely different than what Tony Hawk had set as sort of the standard for a long time. With other extreme sports and with other games, all of them were trying to emulate Tony Hawk's success, and Skate really, carved its own path here. And I wonder, so you had a lot of experience with Tony Hawk. Did you feel like playing Skate was like a real steep learning curve for you?
Not particularly. I thought it was pretty intuitive. I remember like thinking at the time as like Fight Night was really big, and so they had this whole analog, basically like flick it,
sort of,
flick it controls, But so they're doing it with Skate, which makes sense. And like at the time, it was like there's obviously a part of me that kind of hoped it failed because I wanted myself to succeed selfishly, but
a little bit of competitiveness, yeah.
Right, of course, but I got it, and it's like I was watching preview videos. I was really on it because I just appreciate all. I just have a love for extreme sports games, like in general, like all of them. So I bought it day one, played it, loved it. I probably put in like maybe 10 hours or so, but then it wasn't intentional. I just never really played it after that.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing. I mean, I also played, I've played a ton of extreme sports games. Basically, only play extreme sports games. But yeah, it was like the arcadey style was dominant through the whole, dominant Tony Hawk run. And then, Skate sort of turned it over to more realistic kind of extreme sports style. And then, skateboarding video games kind of stopped. But then both of them sort of came back. I guess, like, have you played the more recent, kind of more realistic attempts like Session and Skater XL?
Oh yeah, dude, Skater XL, I have like probably like 250 hours in that game. I love that game so much. I think the reason why I like it more than Skate, I mean, the Skate's different. I like them both, probably equal, but I can appreciate Skater XL so much because the frame rate is so up to date. It's so buttery and like 60 plus, whereas this game is like, I don't know if this even goes up to 60. It might be capped at 30. And there's something about the individual control of the feet that I'm drawn to. I don't know. I just feel like more in control of Skater XL rather.
Like that's really what these games want to go for, putting you in absolute control of your trick and your line, and that's like introducing hardcore mode in Skate 3 here, putting you in absolute control, and some people really flock to that.
Yeah,
the 1 and 2.
Yeah. Was there oh god.
I was saying, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I probably shouldn't say this, but I played Session on stream. I gave it a shot, and I got so frustrated. I was like, I don't even think I was gonna put it on YouTube, and I was like, I don't think I can. I'm just not I'm not that like. So picking up Skater XL, I felt was like intuitive and fun right at the get-go. Session, I felt like I really had to work with the default controls and everything, and I kept getting caught on things. I wasn't grinding. I couldn't figure out why, and it was a lot of dialogue, a lot of text on screen, and
oh, that's the worst feeling.
And I just was like, maybe I just need to give this another year and come back. And again, and it's not quite ready yet, but it does look beautiful. I've seen the videos that people make. It looks gorgeous. I'm really happy for what they got going on. You know, maybe just give it another year and come back, try it again.
Yeah.
Best tattoo ever. Just gave it to myself. Sweet.
Whoa, sketchy. Maybe we should get out of here.
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. I know who you are, bro. You're that guy that jumped off the dam. I got just the line for you.
Lizard King.
There he is.
Kind of looks like a lizard too.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so Lizard
Could be the
King
graphics.
is actually named Mike Plum. It's just like a stage name kind of thing, you know?
Everybody knows lizards notoriously love plums. Oh, God. Jeez.
Yeah. We're in the quarry over here. Skin your knees in the gravel pit, you know?
Yeah.
This area is really rad. Like whoever designed this, I really appreciate. Like it's basically linear, where it's you know, you're taking what comes to you in this sense. Like it's like a hallway, but also if you want, you can just go off the side and jump and like form your own transfer and hit some crazy
back
whatever.
and forth and back and forth and really just kind of the whole industrial, you know, district, whatever. Like, sure, it's again not one big world, but by splitting it up, yeah, they are able to put a lot of space towards these different kind of ideas or concepts, and it's just really cool to see the whole kind of, you know, rusted out, but not like decrepit. It's not like it's gonna break under your feet, but seeing these rusted out structures, seeing these giant, kind of quarries and such.
Yeah, and the fact that it's like pseudo-linear there. There's like clearly a line, but there's not like big walls preventing you from just doing your own thing.
Yeah. I think it's like really easy to read, but with a lot of layers with the surrounding stuff, which is really cool.
Right, and so also pro missions in Skate 3 kind of go into each other. So by completing that one for Lizard King, now you're going to follow him, and he's going to take you to Terry Kennedy, who's going to have a pro mission. So it's like, you might only see, like, 5 pros I can go and talk to at any one time. But doing any of them will lead you from one pro to another one.
That's cool. I vaguely remember following, with these lines and stuff.
When you said Terry Kennedy, I for a second heard Jamie Kennedy, and I was like, really? That's an odd pick. Okay.
Oh no! Do you remember? Wait, he's the actor guy. Like
he was in Malibu's Most Wanted, and he did Circle Circle Dot Dot, and I think that's pretty much all he's famous for.
Wait,
he was also in Son of the Mask.
He hosted E3 one year, right?
He hosted. Remember? Oh, I feel like he did host something. Yeah, and I think it was like horrible.
I think he bombed, and
and he got like really mad at people from up on stage. We may be slandering his character.
Maybe it could be someone totally different.
Yeah,
like,
if it's someone else, I'm sorry, I guess.
Anyway, maybe that'll be a good YouTube rabbit hole for later.
You said Jamie Kennedy, and I was thinking Jamie Oliver for a second, like the chef.
The chef, yeah.
We're just a bunch of boneheads.
A bunch of knuckleheads.
Then you could just end it off
with
just say gap the rail.
Gap the rail?
TK, what up, fool?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Damn, I didn't expect to see you. Yo, check this spot out. Have you seen this? It's a nice line to a gap to rail.
Dude, there's a guy in a ski mask skating a barrier. Who's with me?
Count me out on that one. Peace out then, Lizard. That dude is... Anyways, man, I haven't skated with you in a minute. I tell you what, you and me, let's hit up this spot. Cool.
Okay, so then there were a ton of decisions, obviously, that weren't, like, directly under your control. But, like, if you could talk about, you know, in the later Tony Hawk games when you were working for Neversoft, like, when did certain things like, what pros are going to be in this game, you know, come in and such? Like, do you have any insight on those kind of decisions? Like,
to me at the time, I'd always been the, I don't know, of the type, I don't know if this like makes me ignorant, but I just didn't really care what pros were in. But I can say that I know Tony had a lot to say. He's like, I want this. Probably, it almost works like music licensing, where you cast out a big net of say 100 things, and then you pull back maybe 17, and then like that those, and so it's like
reach out to as many as you can.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily to that scale or degree for skaters, but I'm pretty sure it's like Tony, production, like maybe marketing was just like, we should consider these people, and they work together. So I was completely out of the loop on that, but that's my best guess. Whereas like Tony and like production, marketing squad all come together.
that makes perfect sense, because I mean it's a big enough name that like obviously Tony's got a big enough name on his own, but like also the video game itself has enough name that people would be like, okay, yeah, you know, if you reach out to me, I'm probably gonna say yes if I can.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because again, like, so for, you know, Tony 20, when I did play the Neversoft games, you know, back to back to back, I did stop after Proving Ground. You know, I didn't go on to Robomoto's stuff. But I mean, like, you know, getting to the finals of those, you know, like Proving Ground, sure, it got kind of bad rap when it came out, but I actually, you know, when I played it, I was like, oh god, what am I trying to say? Like, wow, like, you know, you could see Neversoft really trying to bring in a lot more types of the skating community and, you know,
different
culture,
angles to this, yeah.
different angles, you know, putting light to the process of, you know, like, oh, having to take pictures or take, you know, the video kind of.
Yeah, trying to embrace more of the parts of being a skater than just do the trick and in the games get the points.
And so, like, once again, that's something we're kind of in hindsight that you can more easily appreciate. You know, what they were able to do and what kind of angles they were going towards. And I wonder, you know, if like Neversoft and their Tony Hawk games were able to hold on a little longer. You know, like Skate 1 kind of was like, boom, this is what we're doing now. But if Neversoft was able to hold on a little longer, you know, what kind of, I guess, lessons or things to incorporate, you know, might have happened. Like, the Skate series also just really shows, like, a different multiplayer aspect. You know, not just joining and trying to do a high score thing, but, you know, riding with your buds and trying to set up the perfect line and perfect angle and, again, get people doing that kind of experience.
Yeah.
And,
you know, you instead of mentioning the Robomoto game, and obviously without talking shit, did you play the THPS 5?
I have not played THPS 5.
Okay, THPS 5, is that what the community calls it, THPS?
I just say THPS because andyTHPS. It's just.
Oh, so you're andyTHPS. You're not andyTHPS.
I mean, I will respond to either.
Okay.
I'm just like in my
Interesting.
head. Less syllables to work with.
That's really interesting. I have always thought of you as andyTHPS.
Which is
But
fine.
andyTHPS is what you in your head. Oh, that's incredible. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. At the office, people just call me THPS because there were several other Andys there, and it was like
Interesting.
Stamps,
At the office office where they work on THPS,
yeah,
they would call you THPS
were
because there
THPS.
were other Andys who also worked on THPS.
yeah.
they call me Thips because I'm good with my games.
I guess. That's great. That's a great nickname. So, what were you known as online before? Like,
Well, I had a bunch of dumb online aliases, like on AOL Instant Messenger and stuff.
Sure,
But
yeah.
when I signed up to the Delphi THPS forums, I've told this story a million times, but like in 1999, like I'll vividly remember this being in computer class and wanting to post on the message board, like when the demo was out, and I couldn't post because I had to register. So I was like, "What's the first thing that comes to my mind?" andyTHPS.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's great.
And that's where it came from, like, since 1999. So that's basically, I just stuck with it because I sort of gained a little reputation. If I changed my name, it would just be a big disconnect.
It'd be weird,
so,
yeah. That's how iconic names tend to land.
Yeah.
Like, I go by Bob because in 4th grade, people made fun of my given name, and so I just said, fuck it, you can't call me that anymore. I'm Bob now. And I've been Bob since then.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of, hey Bob, you remember last video when we did a deep dive into Miracle Whip?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this contest is, like, super sponsored by Miracle Whip.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they used Miracle Whip to grease the quarter
Yeah.
pipes.
there's like a more than life-size,
Oh my
life-size
God.
bottles of Miracle Whip, you know?
Oh my god, I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, Miracle Whip is huge.
No, I remember Miracle Whip, but like
No,
in this game,
in this game, yeah, Miracle Whip is like really big. They were a huge sponsor of this game.
it's so random.
Yeah.
like the
crossover
demographic
between
is skaters.
the demographic crossover between Miracle Whip fans and skating fans.
I would have not have thought. I would
Yeah.
think it's like anything at a 7-Eleven really would be fine.
You can
but-
get Miracle Whip at a
I
7-Eleven.
grease my bearings with Miracle Whip.
Does that say RUMW on the sign?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Are
You Miracle Whip?
yeah, you're made of Miracle Whip.
Yeah. I
Go
mean,
on the bottles?
Ask him. It's the dark secret that
no, on
medical
the
industry
billboards
doesn't
up
wanna
there.
tell you.
It says
Oh, I
RU.
see. It says, wow.
What
Wait,
does that
so
mean?
I think it's their attempt at like a got milk, but like,
That
are
doesn't
you?
work.
It doesn't work at all.
It really reminds me of that old Rick and Morty thing where Jerry comes up with hungry for apples and then he like has a nervous breakdown because it's too similar to got milk.
It's the counterpart to their "Don't be so mayo."
Oh yeah, I guess they were
billboard.
saying that too. Yeah, don't be so. No, it really probably is actually. Don't be so mayo. Are you Miracle Whip? But like that doesn't. That doesn't
So,
work.
okay, while I let you, I don't know, stew
on
in your
that.
confusion and anger or whatever. So this is also probably why there's so much more pros in this game, because a lot of the like contests and such are based on teams. So it's not just like you versus 3 other people. It's, you know, you and one of the other people in your fake company versus like Hesh here. You know, Darren Navarrete and Lizard King are both on the same team in real life, so...
That's right. I remember this now. I made the King of the Hill family as my my other
Really?
partners. Yeah, I made a Bobby and a
Nice.
Hank, and yeah.
That's great. I love that. By the way, did you guys hear the like announcer guy was making Miracle Whip puns?
Oh really?
He said,
That's
"What do
good.
those whippy boys want? They want you to whip it out there."
Oh my god.
Something like
Good.
like. Why was Miracle? Do you think that was contractually required? Like,
I
somebody
think he was
from
just
Miracle
probably just
Whip.
riffing in the booth, like, you know, they're looking at gameplay and they're just recording takes, and he just
Yeah,
threw it
you're
out there, and
probably
they're
right.
And I bet you the advertisers were just stoked.
They were happy about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine a lawyer coming in with like a contract and he like very seriously has to say you have to make X number of Miracle Whip puns. You have to get your voice actors to say the name Miracle Whip this many times.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's on a list of deliverables somewhere, like in this.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not in this game, I'm sure there's
Somewhere.
Yeah.
But like, why Miracle Whip? I mean, I know
don't know.
why. I know why they accepted the money.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
that.
That might
seems-
be the answer to the question.
Right.
Like, why
See,
Miracle Whip? Because they
Whippy
paid lots of money.
subcutaneous blubber.
Or maybe one of the skaters like very passionate, like after a hard day of skating, they just like to come home and just microwave
jar.
a bottle of Miracle
Ew.
Whip and just chug it. Sorry,
Just
I won't
straight
go
from
there.
the jar. Or it could be like a Papa John's situation where like Peyton Manning owns a bunch of Papa John's. So like maybe one of the skaters in here is like, you know, he has a huge amount of stock in Miracle Whip. And that was the swing. That was how they got the money.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Man, I would love to know the history behind that. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's like Butterfinger ads and the Tony Hawk games, and I've always wondered about that too. I was like, how did that start? Like, where did
Yeah,
that?
I mean-
why?
Yeah,
Is it-
because like aside from Miracle Whip, Dr. Pepper is one of the other big sponsors. Like Dr. Pepper, not who owns them, Coke or Pepsi, but like not Coke or Pepsi. It's Dr. Pepper.
I feel like
specifically.
they're their own company. Dr.
think so,
Pepper 7
too.
Up.
Ooh, do you guys know the very first soda ever to be made ever?
No.
It's Dr. Pepper.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. It was medicinal, right?
I think so, but
That's why
I
it
think-
tastes like garbage.
Yeah, one of the
Actually-
23 flavors like was crack cocaine up until the 1920s.
Oh, really?
No,
No.
but I mean
could've
like
fooled me.
early Coca-Cola did have like
Had coca,
cocaine,
yeah.
right?
It had
Yeah, so-
coca. It had coca leaf extract.
Yeah, I heard all sorts of whack stuff about it early on. But yeah, the next year Coca-Cola started. This was a trivia question for me like last week. That's why
Oh, I see,
the reason
yeah.
I know that. Yeah.
Um,
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not a big soda guy, but if I did have one, like Dr. Pepper's near the top of my list.
Oh, I hate Dr. Pepper.
It's like A or S tier for me.
Really? Okay. I mean, I feel like that's the thing about Dr. Wait. So all the Miracle Whip stuff is gone now?
Yeah.
Sorry, they didn't even.
Just for that
this
contest.
isn't even. Just
It was
for
just
the
for the
contest?
Whip Fest. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it was called, the Whip Fest.
RUMW?
That's so weird. I gotta look up
Am
that
I?
marketing campaign at some point.
I feel like
what are they
that's-
aiming for?
Yeah.
Like,
What was the marketing? What am I? How am I supposed to answer that question?
are you a miracle whipper?
Maybe that's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I could wear like one of those Live Strong bands, but it's like the first one says "What would Jesus do?" and the second one says "Are you Miracle Whip?" And those are my two Live Strong bands.
Okay, so I totally forgot to look up what the actual, like, San Francisco place is that this is referencing, but I mean, like...
Third and Army?
Oh,
All right, well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Third and Army. This is...
Thanks,
you know,
Andy. You don't have to. You can just stop recording. That's cool. That's all we needed.
Oh, but I mean...
The only reason why I know that is because that was like one of the robot line in Tony Hawk 4 Online, the Third and Army line. It's like all the noobs who couldn't play would hang out over there.
Yeah, the Tony Hawk 4 San Francisco level had this same area.
What if both of those are just a reference to something called First and Air Force?
It could be.
Oh my
to be
God.
honest, I don't know.
Or Fourth and Space Force?
I'll
Now,
always remember that because there was the challenge there that wanted you to do a dark slide, and I love dark slides.
Dark Slides are so cool.
Dark slides
yeah.
it's insane. And again, it's so insane that in this game, not only did they put dark slides in, but like you can do grabs while dark sliding. Like the whole trick of doing a dark slide is getting that to happen. It's not like you're just, grinding a pool edge and you can reach up and grab that. No, like no one is gonna do a dark slide and then be like, nah, that's not good enough.
That's not good enough. I need to do
I need to
something more.
Actually, then real quick,
1 foot.
Andy, favorite special trick?
Ooh, that's
Oh, on the spot.
Yeah.
Out of all the games, I feel like I gotta go Misty Flip.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
It got yanked from the later games because you could just do it with the grab, like a method and then a roll. So so like we made room for other specials.
Oh my god, dude! During 2020, a few times I would always talk about or ask people what was their favorite one and done. That's always really crazy to me. Like you program in a special trick in one game, introduce it in a game, and then it's not there the next. Like, I don't know. I'm making
Chomp
that
on
out.
this.
Yeah,
Or
like the might as well jump. Stuff like that. I don't know. I always love kind of things like that.
Andrew Reynolds had that like hamster or like gerbil that ran around him, and there was
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
never forget American flag
We
grind
were
or
just
whatever.
grinding a 50-50, but it was the ferret.
That's what it was.
You were just freaking out.
Yeah.
I just love little things like that,
Yeah,
Just-
540 flip is great. Frontside 540 looks great. Big spin shifty. There's a lot of really cool ones.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. The Christ Air is legendary, but it like later became not a special. So that was my first thought too.
Yeah,
like-
I mean, when they went from American Wasteland to Project 8, and so did you have to completely like rebuild the engine and such for Project 8? That was the first on the new consoles, and
Yeah,
Like-
it was a whole thing. I think I think at Tony Hawk 4 was kind of like the main engine, growing and building off of that engine all the way up until bringing in like the Havoc engine for
right.
8. So like, Ragdoll and like rigid bodies, like, kicking over cones and stuff and having them react appropriately. It was like the
Havoc was
latest
the
and
new
greatest thing
yeah.
back then. Yeah.
yeah, but like all the animations had to be, redone, and they looked great in Project 8. Like they looked super fluid and such, but again, like the special trick list had to get, way pared down because you probably had to rebuild everything.
Exactly. I think I remember talking with the animators a lot about it. Throughout the duration of the project, there was a lot of because in all the Tony Hawk games you have a one kickflip animation, right? and that's like all you get. But in Project 8, the kickflip animation would blend with the ollie depending on when you did the kickflip. So a kickflip would look different when you took off from the ground as opposed to at the peak of your jump and on your way down from your jump. So like they're basically, you would have like this whole like spectrum or dynamic range of what it could look like from the start to the last of your jump, if that makes sense. So getting those to work appropriately, I think with every kick trick, it was its own thing. And also, you know, skater physics changing, other things, factors going on and stuff too, is a whole thing too. But yeah, I thought it looked great. You know, and like my honest opinion on those games is like I really like those games, but honestly I feel like it veered a bit too far away from the arcadey feel. But it did a decent job of like capturing realism with arcade, but to me it was like not quite there. But I still played it a lot. You know, it was fun to work on, and it was difficult to work on Project 8 because, you know, you come into work on Monday and they're like, oh, we changed this, and yeah, and so it's like, well, I have to rebuild my level now, like, or at least what I had done already and stuff like that. So I was like, it's just you know, woes of game development, but it's just the reality, you know. But yeah,
and just then another quick question, and I mean the answer could be no, and that could be fine. But then, like, did you interact at all with the other development teams doing like the previous generation versions of some of the games? Like Shaba Games did the PS2 Xbox version of Project 8. Did you know how much interaction was there, and were you there for any of that?
So not a lot, but I do remember the PSP version. I tested that just to like, it was like a couple weeks, like, hey, just, you know, we're giving you access to this thing, here's how to get it, like just burn through their game and just like write up anything crazy you see and blah blah blah. And so I did that, and what else did I do? We did meet I met the level designers from Shaba. They came to Woodland Hills and we all went out for drinks after work, and we would just like vibed, and they asked a bunch of questions and like our kind of approach for stuff and blah blah blah, and it was just like, that was kind of pretty much it. That was for, oh man, what was it? Was it Project 8? I think it was. But so I would say for the Underground remix, I worked on that directly, and I spoke with them around Project 8. I think it was Shaba, and then was it Page 44 who did Proving Ground?
Yes, Page 44.
And I remember having the whole level design team at Neversoft during Proving Ground production, working on levels and goals and all these things. We're like, okay, page 44 is like way behind or whatever, or I don't even know if they're behind, but we need you guys to go into your levels and like do them, like basically make them compatible with the PS2, you know, Wii, and like, so we had to kind of like, we had a hands-on like, just like get it to like a good state and then give it to them and they'll take it from there, kind of thing. So we had like a 2-week like strike, you can call it like a strike team of designers just on their respective levels making it work on the older generations, and then they took it from there.
So did they then, I guess they would have like done some demaking of the game or the level.
Yeah, so I think the general attitude is like poly count, right? So the amount of polys, this like, you gotta just scale back all that stuff.
Yeah.
So mainly just that and all that stuff.
Right, because that was sort of, and I know the video's over, but just, that was sort of the thing about the Project 8 demake or backport, that some levels were very similar, some were kind of similar, but had their own parts to the PlayStation 2 Xbox version, and some were totally different.
Completely.
So it's like, for the levels that were totally different, for example, was that maybe the last places you were working on for Neversoft's version of Project 8, and Shaba was just like, well, we have to come up with our own thing to make the same deadline.
Yeah, I think you're right. I like pretty much is like, everyone's got deadlines, right? And so we're going to pull assets from, you know, the proj and just make do with what we got and make it happen, you know? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, both games did come out good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played Project 8 on the older gen yet, like at all. The high school level that I made, I played it on Thug Pro, but that's it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You can go over to this channel, Insenic47, to see. All right, that was this video. We'll have Andy on for the next video as well. So,
and Andy's links in the description as well.
Yes.